Hey students, this is a recap of my presentation for Mrs. Pusateri's class for your 11th grade argumentative paper. You have done this before. You have done lots of argumentative papers. I'm hoping that it gets to the point where you say, oh, I already know this. That's great. Every teacher does have a few little extra things maybe that are a little bit different, and the two that I think are a little unique for Mrs. Pusateri are on the screen. She wants you to use different voices to enhance the paper. I see how this would happen under claim and counterclaim. So when you're arguing, oh, hunting is really good and families should hunt, then you need to sound a little different when you do your counterclaim. So make sure that as you quote, or as you paraphrase, that you incorporate those different voices. And secondly, and I think this one is more important, it seems like it's more significant, is you need to come up with something that is an action item. So if you keep saying, I believe this, here's my claim, you should do this, well then you got to come up with something that the reader could do to make a difference. So be on the lookout for those type of thoughts and ideas. For searching and finding good sources, you're going to start with the Ridgeline High School homepage, as you always do. Go to the library link. That will take you to my library homepage. This screen changes from time to time, but this will always be there. Utah's Online Library is going to be front and center. This is where you can search for scholarly sources for this scholarly paper. I really encourage you to stay inside of scholarly databases for this. You can get to Utah's Online Library in a whole bunch of different ways. The only reason you want to go through here, and there's a link here for it, is because if you do this at home, it's going to put up a paywall, and you need to remember the username and password to get through that paywall. Username right now is online, password is database. As that changes, which it does, this button will change just to give you those hints there. So remember that. You'll be using it this year, next year, and maybe even after that when you're in college. You can always come back and go through the Ridgeline Library homepage to get access to Utah's Online Library. Utah's Online Library has a whole bunch of different databases for you. Gale reference collection is done by the Gale company, obviously, and they know that everybody in the world is doing argumentative papers because that's what students do. So they have 8 different databases that you can find, but 2 of them are specific to student research about argumentative topics. This one, Global Issues, is exactly what it sounds like. So these are big issues, child slavery or immigration, things that affect the whole globe. This opposing viewpoint has a lot of the same topics, but they tend to be more social issues, and this is where usually your papers will fall into. So you're going to click on opposing viewpoints, and this is the home page that you will see for opposing viewpoints. This can be treated, now that once you're in it, just like a Google form. So if you know your topic, just type it in there. However, if you don't know, you can scan down, scroll down on this page, and it will take you to the Browse Issues section. This is to help you find a topic if you don't know what your topic is. For example, maybe you're really interested in politics or science. This will give you a breakdown of topics that fit into that category. I tend to just hit Browse All Issues, and this gives you an alphabetical list of a variety of issues. Some of these you look at them and you think, what's controversial about that? Well, click on it and find out what's controversial about some of these things. As I was scanning through here, I noticed like online retail, like what on earth is controversial about online retail? So I click right on it and it takes me to this screen. The first thing is an overview article. This is much longer if you click on that just talks about what online retail is. It's disrupted the market. This is not arguing for one side or the other, but it's definitely going to be one of my 4 sources if I choose this topic, because the first thing you need to do in a paper is establish background. So this is exactly what you need for it. You will also want to look at the viewpoints. This is where you get into claims and counterclaims, and there's a list right here. You will also want to check on the statistics, or sometimes the infographics is really terrific too, partly because they're nice and short. Let me show you what one of the statistics articles looks like. This is the whole article. It's just a chart. It If I decide this is what I want, I really, really need to save it to my drive. Please, please, please do that. Even if you know the exact title, you can't get necessarily back into it in the exact way. So if you think you might want it, so even more than the 4 articles that you are going to actually use, as you're poking around and doing your research, go ahead and click it to your drive. It will end up taking the source citation with it, and it looks like this in your drive. So Amazon leads the pack in online. It doesn't look like it, but when you click on it, you get the whole thing back. And that's exactly what you need. And then later you can go through and delete it out of your drive. So please, please, please save to your drive. So I was poking around for other topics that I thought might be interesting, and I noticed this women in politics one, especially because we got a new vice president yesterday, who's the first woman vice president. I thought, oh, that'll be really interesting. Again, an overview and historical precedent article, so this would be perfect for me to start about why maybe this is a controversial subject, what's the background of women in politics. Then I looked down here for viewpoints, and there are 48 viewpoints, which is terrific. I clicked on that, and here is a list that I can scroll through. I started to notice that maybe this isn't a great thing, because this first article, Democrats' Shameful Legacy on Crime, that isn't really what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the history of women in politics. Now this one sounds pretty good, except for it's old. Hillary Clinton is not the woman I want to talk about. She's kind of out of politics now, and that's why I'm giving you this example. The computer sorts it by relevance, like what's the best thing about women in politics, which is weird that they do this one, but you can change that, and I changed it to newest to oldest, which is great. I figured there'd be some Kamala Harris here, but look, the newest article is 2019, the second newest is 2018, and the third newest is 2017. So even though I really want to write about women in politics, and I still can, this is not the best topic for currency in Gale, and Gale really needs to step it up here. They better be rewriting some of these and adding to their database. So I'm going to choose not to. So be aware of that. It's hard to argue something with really old data. I'm going to go back and I'm going to do my online retail. So I found my topic. I need to go back through that list and make sure that there's some claim and some counterclaims, and I need to come up with action items. Now for mine it might be people should not shop from Amazon, or people should use different online retailers, or people should shop local. I don't know, but I need to find 4 sources and save them to my drive. So please, if you have any questions, come see me, or talk to Mrs. Pusateri, of course. I understand the assignment, I think, and so I can help you here in the library. Thanks.